This is Fred Foy. Join us now as we travel back in time and relive some of the magic that was part of the golden age of radio. It's time now for another episode of The Glowing Dial, here on Yesterday, USA.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting. Use Gritto, radio friends, the soap that gives your hands that dishpan look. How will the old man know you've been working if your hands don't have that dishpan look? Put a box of Gritto in a glass of water, then listen to it fizz. Dopes. Remember, Gritto spelled sideways is Atragg. And now Gritto's own story of Sandra Sandpile in Here's Mud in Your Eye. Music.
I heard you on the wireless back in 52, lying awake intently tuning in on you. If I was young, it didn't stop you coming through. They took the credit for your second symphony, rewritten by machine on new technology, and now I understand the problems you could see. I met your children. What did you tell them?
Video killed the radio star. Video killed the radio star.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another fantabulous edition of The Glowing Dial here on Yesterday, USA. Big John and Steve with you here, and we got a bit of a different show coming at you this time. We're here live, or almost live, at the Friends of Old Time Radio Convention here in Newark, New Jersey. We're saluting One Man's Family and the Cisco Kid this time around, and wish you all could be here. But as I look over this direction, some of you all are, and we're going to say hello to everybody here in just a moment. We've got some letters to catch up on.
Oh, boy, don't we?
Yes, we've
Oh,
been
yes.
a little neglectful of that, and we got to catch up on that.
Shame on us. We have a lot of work here for that. So
It's a crying shame. We've got a few little tunes to play. We don't generally play a lot of music here on the Glowing Dial by listener popular request, but this show being a little different, we figured we wanted to get some talking, and we got Bill over here. We want to have one of those famous Bill Bragg stories. And,
definitely. Got to hear one of those.
Hear from some of the folks you don't get a chance to really hear too much of on the station. Maybe they'll say hello to us. So I think we ought to, what do you want to do first? Get into some...
Let's do the letters first, since we're so neglectful on that.
Okay. You have everything at your fingertips.
Yes, I do. My fingers did the walking, and they walked right. Got the letters in order here.
Okay. Well, I think we need a little help here to get us going.
Yes, we
see,
can't
Bill,
read the
Bill
letters.
has his tune, so we have our tune as well.
I'm gonna sit right down and write myself a letter and make believe it came.
All right, the beautiful strains of Mr. Prima there. Let's get into the letters. We have somebody else walking in the door, and it is, it is him.
It's the man from West Virginia.
Yeah, so we've got to pardon the rowdy audience here, folks. It just got a lot rowdier with this guy walking in. Okay.
He's definitely a mood setter.
Yes.
Oh.
For those of you in a bad mood. But anyway.
I'm not.
Our first letter, Stephen.
Okay, we have a letter here from Don Steelman, and he writes to us. He says, I really like your program. I wonder if you have any episodes of Space Patrol, Captain Star or Captain Midnight in your collection. If you do, could you play one or two of them in future editions?
Well, we're going to check the log, and we will do that because we're here at the convention. So if we don't have any, we're going to sure try to find some for you.
Okay, next letter here.
As Bill ruins our furniture, we're going on to the next letter.
Guess what? The next one is also from Don Steelman. Hi, guys. I really enjoy your program, especially the sound effects on that old radio. And when I was a kid, back before they invented rocks, and peanut butter, I really loved Space Patrol. The only criticism I have is one generic to YUSA, and that's the handling of cereals. Playing a program every 2 weeks.
Special K Cheerios, that type of thing?
No, it's spelled with an S. Cereal, not C. Cereal.
Pardon me.
Where was I? The only criticism I have is the one generic to YUSA, and that's the handling of cereals. Playing a program every 2 weeks just isn't enough to keep interest or even a place mark. Isn't there some other way to do this? Maybe present several shows at once. Beside that, you have a really nifty show, and I always try to get it. If everyone lit just one little candle, what a bright world it would be.
How sweet.
Words of wisdom.
Well, somebody just
from
lit a
God.
match.
Is there a little candle in here?
We have another one. Oh,
Next, postcard from Stan Sikowski
Stan.
in Keysville, Virginia.
Cool.
He writes, "Hi guys, I'm listening and enjoying and taping your great shows. I also tape them for friends who can't get YUSA, and they are tickled pink to hear them. Bill Bragg is asking for audition tapes to replace Jim Gill on tape number 11 as a regular DJ. Jim has resigned because of health problems. I sent my audition tape in to Bill, and he will be announcing day and time for election. I will be very appreciative of you two will cast your vote for me, as I would like to join you and the rest of the great family of DJs on YUSA. Bill has played my tapes in the past as a substitute when other DJs are late. I'll try to do as good a job as you do. Warmest wishes, with peace and love, Stan Sikowski."
Try to do as good a job as that. That's not too hard, you know.
No?
Well, Stan, that position has been filled, but Bill is keeping all the audition tapes, and for the next spot that opens, we will be doing the official auditioning. And you're actually going to get a chance to say hello, or the new DJ will say hello to you in a little bit here, if he wants to.
Yes, the new DJ just happens to be in the room at this moment.
Yes. Next.
Next letter is from Frank Brzee. And he says, "Dear John and Steve, thanks for your letter of August 3rd. Yes, I think it's a good idea to supply pass out to Bill for his YUSA auction.
All
I'll
right.
sign a couple of games and send them to you later this month. I'll also send along 2 extra games, one for each of you. By the way, I heard the interview you both did with me on your program this week. Thought it came out very good. With all best wishes, Frank."
Wow, that's nice. And we've already gotten the games, and Bill, that's going to be one of your auction items, is a autographed pass-out game autographed by Frank Brzee.
The creator of the game.
Mm-hmm.
We're playing that tonight.
Oh,
Yes,
you're gonna play pass out?
after the show here.
Oh,
we're-
wow. Oh.
Rialzi's already over in the corner.
He's getting out all the liquor for that. Okay, well, fine.
He's buying tonight, too.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, we have a card here from David and Greg Berger, who we met in Las Vegas when we were there for the YUSA reunion.
Mm-hmm.
And they have this card here that says, "Some days it's tougher to hang in there than others. So we disc jockeys and wife, in parentheses,
Okay.
must stick together. Thus we shall be known as the Stick Discs. Try saying that 3 times quickly."
That 3 times quickly. Here, continue.
Gee, that was so easy for you.
I know.
And it's signed David and Greg Berger.
That's nice. 2 very nice folks. They were gracious. They invited us into their home when we were out there at the reunion, fed us dinner,
Yes.
and actually let us stay for a while.
Yes. I was surprised they didn't, just kick
Get
us out
out
of
of
there.
there, yeah.
Get out of here, you 2 goofballs. Get out of
Okay.
here. Okay, and next one is from Fred Foy. Fred Foy says, "Dear John, happy to autograph your Ranger game. Send it to the address below. I'm able to record. Send the material to me. I'd like to see what the scripts are about these
Okay, that's
before
a
I
little...
leave."
That part was kind of unnecessary.
Yeah.
The game we're talking about is a Lone Ranger game. It's not a very old game. It was made in the 70s, but it is also a YUSA auction item,
Yes.
and personally autographed by Fred Foy, the announcer of the Lone Ranger series.
It makes it more valuable if you have the game signed by the
Mhm.
announcer for the Lone Ranger. So.
And I've got it at home. It says Hi-Yo Silver Fred Foy, so hopefully that brings in a lot of money for the station.
So
All
that
right,
is
let's do one more here, and then we're going to
okay.
play something here.
And here we have one from, this comes all the way from Lake Placid, Florida. Now who could that be? Who could be living down in Lake Placid, Florida? Why, it's our old friends, the MacArthurs. Remember?
Oh, yes.
Remember them? Okay.
Mhm.
Hello, Steve and John. How are you? We all are okay. I thought that I would grab your attention with the above 2 lines. I said the same as the first 2 lines in this paragraph. He's got some strange symbols up at the top here. Just thought that I would drop you guys a line to say hello and to give you my email address. Y'all take care. Steve MacArthur.
Oh, well, that's good to hear from them.
Haven't heard from them in
Met
God,
them
it's
at
been over a year.
The 6th
Yes.
reunion, our first one we ever went to.
Right.
Well, we got something here. We want to. You want to introduce this tune, I think.
Yes. I brought this tune along because of the singer.
And she's here, isn't she?
Not yet. I haven't heard.
You haven't seen her yet.
I haven't seen her yet. I haven't heard the arrival of the singer yet.
She does have a table, you said, down there. So.
There's a table downstairs waiting for her, and she is on the guest list here at the convention. I haven't seen her arrival yet.
Mm-hmm.
And she did this rather bizarre recording back in the late 50s. And
sci-fi was prevalent then, and this kind of is...
It's a cute song. Really, yeah. I think you'll like it.
Who are we talking about?
Oh, the artist is Betty Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
And the name of the tune is The Little Blue Man.
Mm. Well, let's roll that.
One morning when I was out shopping, though you'll find it hard to believe, a little blue man came out of the crowd and timidly tugged at my sleeve.
I love you,
said the little blue man.
I love you to bits. I love you.
He loved me, said the little blue man, and scared me right out of my wits. I hurried back to my apartment. I rushed in and I closed the door. But there on the desk stood the little blue man, who started to tell me once more.
I love you,
said the little blue man.
I love you to bits. I love you.
He loved me, said the little blue man, and scared me right out of my wits. For weeks after that I was haunted, though no one could see him but me. Right by my side was the little blue man, wherever I happened to be.
I love you.
One evening in wild desperation, I rushed to a rooftop in town, and over the side pushed the little blue man, who sang to me all the way down.
I love you,
said the little blue man.
I love you to bits. I love you.
He loved me, said the little blue man, and scared me right out of my wits. I whispered, thank goodness that's over. I smiled as I hurried outside. But there on the street stood the little blue man, who said with a tear in his eye,
I don't love you anymore.
So I hope to meet Betty Johnson tomorrow at the convention, and
Steve's gonna walk right
walk
up
up
to
to her and go,
I love
you. Can I have your autograph? She'll know what I mean.
Either that or she'll just back away from you very slowly.
Maybe she'll show up with her husband, Charles Randolph Green, the musical composer guy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Awesome. I think it's time for some introductions here. We got a lot of folks here. And let's, are we on? We on? Yes, we are. We're going to pass this around. Let everybody say hello. Let's start with Mr. Bill.
Hello, everybody. Bill Bragg here, the man with a million friends. And I'm passing the mic now to one of our newest members, Kim Harris. Hello, Kim.
Hello.
Can you say anything more than that?
Kim, tell us how do you listen to the station, and how long have you listened to the station, and what are some of the things you like about the station?
I started listening right before Christmas last year. I listened on an FM station in Harrisburg. I like the comedy shows, Bing Crosby and Bob Hope, like I told you before. I like some of the detective shows and the mysteries and some of the drama and that. Pretty much all of it. Pretty much like all of it.
I noticed that when you sent in your membership, it signed Kim Harris and Betty Lewis. Who is Betty Lewis, and how is she involved in all of this?
Betty Lewis is my grandmother, and I sort of like drug her into it. And as she's listening to the radio station, she'll say, "I remember those shows," and she'll give me a little bit more history about it. I think I left her sitting on a chair downstairs. No, she went to bed.
Well, I don't know if you were listening carefully to what Kim said, but I found that very interesting and very unusual that someone of your age, under 50, would be would drag in your grandmother. You'd think it would be the other way around with old time radio, that grandma would bring in the youngsters. But it's very interesting that it's the other way around here. A 32-year-old is bringing in and introducing her grandmother to the radio station. I think that's neat. Of course, you certainly didn't introduce her to the programs, simply just to the station. The moment she heard the programs, I suppose she said, "I remember that," right?
Yeah, she'll say, "I remember that," and then she'll like remember when it was on or something funny about it. And most of the time, she said she was running around when her mother would listen, and then she'd say like what her mother's favorite shows were. And then a lot of times, I can't remember what they are, but a lot of times I'll hear them on the radio, and I'll say, "I know why she likes them, because some of them are so funny, you know. Or some of them are scary, like that show tonight."
That was scary indeed, and especially sitting there and watching it happen before our eyes.
Yeah.
All right, let's move along here. Here's a guy. Do you want me to do this or just pass it around?
You can pass it around.
Yeah, you can pass it
Okay,
around.
we'll pass it around to Cliff Kaplinger. I'll tell you what, let's do. I want to do one other thing though. Elmos, come on over here. I want to do you next because we want to take care of our newbies. This is. Am I pronouncing that right, Elmos?
Yeah, that's close enough.
Elmos Woods. Where are you from, Elmos?
I live in New York City, Manhattan.
New York City, and I get your pledge checks on a regular basis. You know, you've got something in common. There's another listener here that uses the very same company, so I have to look twice at the checks to make sure that I don't give the wrong person credit, because there's two of you that use the same check company, and I really appreciate your support of the station, and it's a pleasure to meet you. How did you find out about the station? How long you been listening?
Well, I was browsing through the Audioactive site, and I saw Old Time Radio, and that's all I needed to see. And I tuned in, and I've been a regular listener since. And I decided, well, I like it enough. I want to, support it, and so I became a member.
I really appreciate that. So you're what we call an interneter, and you're another great example of a far under 50 person. I won't get personal enough with you and ask you exactly your age, but far under 50 person who enjoys old time radio.
Okay, and yeah, I have to almost pull out my driver's license when I'm talking to people because I think I'm over 50 because of the references that I make.
Right. Well, it's really a pleasure to have you among us here at Yesterday USA. Welcome aboard.
Thank you very much.
Great to have you. All right, I'm gonna let's say hello to kind of a half Yesterday USA supporter. This is his cousin, and we're talking, of course, about Dennis. You on a regular basis, a number of years. It's good to have you back.
Yeah, it's fun to be here. I always make it to FOTR. I listen to Yesterday USA via my cousin Ray Kaplinger from California.
Mm-hmm.
And
who was that again? Ray?
Excuse me, Cliff Kaplinger.
You guys have been relatives most of your life, I understand. You go back a long ways. I never can figure who takes care of who. Is Cliff taking care of you, or are you taking care of Cliff? I never can figure this out.
Well, he's a couple of years older than I am.
Well, I'll have to remember Ray, and we'll have to talk to Ray. And hello, Sue. You thought you You thought I didn't see, but I've got eyes in the back of my head. This is Kim's mom. How are you doing? Are you a regular listener to the station?
I'm getting there.
Good.
Yeah, I have to go over and babysit her dogs and cats and stuff like that, and the birds. And I listen to it because she has it on 24 hours a day, whether she's home or not. The radio's on.
And what are some of the programs you enjoy the most?
I like them all. I like to hear, the Jack Benny and a lot of the the really funny ones. You sit there and have to keep
Jack Benny rules. Jack Benny rules.
Right. How do you feel about one?
Tape number one.
the Bill Bragg and the Birds show. Our wireless mic is.
We're having some difficulty with our wireless mic here.
I can't believe this. This is a rare opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. We have absolutely met the first lady in history who knows nothing about tape number one.
Oh, no.
I find that very sad.
I'll call you up when it's on.
Thank you, Kim.
I know you will.
And it's time now to talk to the new kid on the block.
Bill?
The man
Bill?
with absolutely no friends at all.
I want to hold here for just a second. We're having some trouble with the wireless mic there. It's going in and out. I'm going to give you a corded one. So we're going to go away here in just a second here and play a little bit of the schnoz. I think we all know who we're talking about. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Once upon a time they sang the Vodeo-Do, but that was long ago. Then everybody started into boop-boop-a-doo. They got tired of that, How do you like those guys? Everybody puts in extra notes. I'll overlook it. But the tune for you and me is that swingy symphony. Dink-a-dinkity, a-dinkadoo, a-dinkity. Oh, what a tune for crooning. A-dinkity, a-dinkadoo, a-dinkity. It's got the whole world spooning. Eskimo bells up in Iceland are ringing. They've made their own paradise land. Singing, a-dinkity, a-dinkadoo, a-dinkadee. Simply means dink-a-dinkadee, a-dinkadoo. A-dinkadee, a-dinkadoo. Let me hear that choir. Oh, what a tune for crooning. Colossal, a-dinkadee, a-dinkadoo. Let me hear that band. Stupendous. Now let me hear the trumpets. That's not a trumpet. That's not a trumpet. That's a trumpet. A-dinkadee, a-dinkadoo, a-dinkadee. Simply means dink-a-dinkadee, a-dinkadoo. A-dinkadee, a-dinkadoo, a-dinkadee. Oh, what a tune for crooning. That's enough, fellas. I'll take it alone. A-dinkadee, a-dinkadoo. You know, boys, last week I sang for the Sultan of Pasha, and the Sultan offered me his harem of 500 beautiful wives, but I turned him down, because when I get up every morning, who wants to find 1,000 stockings hanging in the bathroom? Not the Ranny. A-dinkadee, a-dinkadoo, a-dinkadee. That note was given to me by Bing Crosby, and was he glad to get rid of it? Simply means a-dinkadee, a-dinkadoo.
Hi, this is Frank Brzee, Little Beaver on Old Time Radio's Red Rider. You're listening to The Glowing Dial with your hosts Big John and Steve, heard exclusively on Yesterday USA Radio.
All right. Thank you very much, Frank. We are back, and hopefully the mic is going to be... we switched mics, so technical difficulties
Yes, we don't
do
use
happen.
Mike Douglas, now we use Mike Connors.
Cliff, you're closest. Would you hit him for me, please? Let's continue with these introductions here.
Where do
Thank
we
you,
leave
Bill.
off?
Cute. Cute.
Having a good time here. All right,
Cute.
we're gonna point the mic toward Mike now. the new kid on the block. Step forward here. I've got a short cord.
And I got a short fuse, so don't
Sounds like
cause
a
no
personal
problems
problem.
there.
I realize that. The new kid on the block. And this is, golly, how many reunions is this for you?
It's not a reunion, Bill, but
It's not?
two conventions.
This is not the reunion? No,
This
I mean,
is not the reunion.
I mean the convention. How many?
It's two conventions.
Yeah, two conventions.
But I do want to talk about the convention.
Okay.
Give me this microphone for a minute. It's a great convention, and we've had a good time. The recreations were great, but the thing I liked the best was the heartwarming moment yesterday when I went down to Dan Riazzi's room for the first time, and we were talking, and he looked out the window. And after all these years, he was able to look at the prison next door and wave at all his relatives.
That sounds like Dan.
You know, Mike, it's a shame that they must all ripped you off, huh?
I was waving a different way.
He doesn't think I have feelings, but that really hurt me. It's really great to be here.
All my clients are over there.
See how many he successfully gets out. By the way, if you guys are new listeners, Michael's an attorney. Don't call his number. Use 1-800-ATTORNEY. In any event, it's always great to be here. I have so much to be thankful for to be associated with the Yesterday USA Radio. I mean, from Dennis over there to Elmo's, is that correct? Just meeting. The Harrises, which we just met, which are new listeners. Dan McKeever, which I just met tonight.
Knuckles McKeever.
And Cliff. And Ted McGowan.
He wants to be called
who's not
Knuckles, he
here.
told me in the chat room.
And Ted had to go back home because he had a friend of his pass away in the last 48 hours up in Canada. But like I was telling Kim here, if it wasn't for Yesterday USA, I wouldn't have, and it ain't even close to the amount of friends that I have because of this radio station. And because of that, even though I don't like to give Bill very many accolades, I really appreciate him for the opportunity. And I hope our station keeps going on because only my friendship base can grow from that. And Bill, here, wipe the tears from your eyes.
Thanks, Dan.
Bless you, my boy.
That's nice.
You know, that is one of the highlights for me personally when I come to an event like this, whether it be a family reunion or an old-time radio convention, is to walk in somewhere and you look over in the corner and there is a group of folks from all different parts of the country who are laughing and talking to one another. And I suddenly stop for a moment and think, and I realize that these people are all friends and all talking together for one reason and one reason only, because they've all met through the radio station. And what a treat that is for me, because I don't guess there's a single soul in this room that would not be here if it were not for the radio station. So what is it? 2, 4, 6, 8, about 10 people in this room, all friends, all who love and care and would do anything for one another, all because of this one radio station. So I think if there's any one particular thing that stands out in what Yesterday USA does, stands for, and will continue to stand for, it's for friendships and families and good, clean, wholesome entertainment. And I'm just really proud to be sitting around a bunch of my dearest, dearest friends. It's a real pleasure for me. Thank you.
Bill, I got to agree with you there, my friend.
And we've still got 2 more to go here. We've got Cliff Keplinger and Dan McKeever. I'd like to do Dan next because Dan doesn't like to talk, so I'll just talk for him. But let me just say a word or two. Dan has done so many things that we really don't have enough time to mention all of them. But I can say this, one of the things that I have enjoyed the most here lately is Dan's company. Dan has been over to my house, the studio, if you will, on a number of occasions. I don't think I could count how many. I don't think I have certainly enough fingers, and I don't think I have enough fingers and toes to count up the number of times that Dan McKeever has been to the house to either work on the calendar, to work on the computer, or to what we've been doing lately, working on the auction. And we're far, far ahead at this point than we've ever been. Every single auction item, with the exception of what we're picking up here at the convention, is already listed. And I'm talking, when I say listed, I'm talking about, you take Mike Handy, for example, sent a beautiful box set of radio shows. It doesn't say box set of radio shows. It says a box set of 60 radio shows, and the 60 titles are listed. Not only that, they're now in a box with an address label. So when they are purchased at our auction, which will be Sunday night, November 30th, all we need to do is address the label that is already affixed to the box and put it in the mailbox. And you don't know what a load this takes off of me. And this is just one of the many things that Dan has done for us. And it's such a pleasure to work side by side with him. And we stop and we go up, and we're about to run out of places to eat, aren't we, Dan? We're going to have to start making the rounds a second time. But I will give you an opportunity to say a word or two if you'd like. But you're another one of those very special persons that I love so much. And so let me let you finish this off, if you will.
I've been told I have the voice of a radio mime, but I just want to warn everybody in advance, all those packages are addressed, and they're addressed to me. So if you don't get your package in a hurry, don't worry.
I'm going to drive mine personally to Bill's house.
Look
for
at
that,
this
Dan.
room. We're literally clear across the country here. We're California, Michigan, then
West
Harrisburg,
Virginia.
West Virginia. And the common Michigan. And the common thread is all YUSA. People who would not otherwise meet. And it seems to be perfect camaraderie, except for, of course, that's all I have to say.
And that was plenty. And finally, I think a good way to end this is with a guy that's kind of shy. Come on over here. What did I just knock over here? A guy that I guess I have more respect for than anybody in my personal family. And that is one of my best friends in the radio family, Mr. Cliff Kaplinger. And Cliff, you're coming down to visit me in December. And I will have a lot of things for you to do when you get there.
Hi, Bill. Well, I've certainly enjoyed it here. My cousin Dennis and I have been coming here for the last, maybe close to 10 years. And each time we come, we meet more people and more friends. And we're missing a few, like Joseph Ascarella. I was thinking, I know what happened to him. And then, of course, Sally last year. Be nice to see her again. And really enjoy it. And now, Big John and Steve.
Let me say one thing.
Sure, back to you.
Every one of you, I'm sure, has heard of the Yesterday USA Studios West, that being out in Las Vegas when we did our family reunion. Well, we're coming to you now from the Yesterday USA Studios North. And let me tell you this, and I think Cliff will go along with me on this. He was there in the room when we did our broadcast from Vegas. And this is a much far superior professional looking setup than we ever had. You guys are really to be complimented. I mean, when I walked in here, I thought we were going to be passing around a Radio Shack 2995 cassette player, and just speaking into it. I mean, I'm seeing 2 audio consoles, 3 microphones, backups, digital playback equipment, special effects. And I'm absolutely blown away. And you guys, and to sit back and watch you guys work so hard with the sweat on your brow and put your life and your soul and your hearts into it really makes me feel good. And I'm so proud of you guys.
Thank you, Bill.
I really am. And I'll just simply close by saying I'm just darn glad I don't have to pack it all up.
Who says you don't?
Great job, fellas. Great job. Great job.
Dan McKeever said you were going to help us pack up and carry it to the car.
No way. Great job and congratulations. All right, it's your show. Back to you guys.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. And I think we're going to get back into reading some more letters here. But Bill did say special effects.
Good.
See what power we have? We can call up the ghost of Mo Howard whenever we want to.
Yeah. What was that again? What did he say?
What?
What did Mo say again?
He said,
good.
And that's what he said.
That's what he said. Everybody do what he says. Go good.
Of course, when he was a baby, he sounded like this.
Good.
But then he grew up. Let's continue.
As we all do. Getting back to the letters here. Okay. We received a newsletter from the Radio Listeners Lyceum, which is like a lending library for radio shows.
They have got almost the geez, I don't know. They've got a ton of stuff.
Ton of stuff there.
You can really add to your collection that way. Reasonable rates, too.
Right, and we also received a newsletter from WLW in Cincinnati. No, WMKV. WMKV.
Oh, I love that show.
Oh, that's WKRP.
Oh,
Wrong one.
WKRP, yes.
MKV. We got a letter here from Carl Dieters, who we met down in the Cincinnati convention.
Oh, Carl, yes.
Yes. Dear Steve, he sent this one to me.
Okay.
Dear Steve, enclosed is a videotape on WLW and a box of 60-minute TDKs for your show. Sorry for the delay due to the UPS strike. Carl Dieters from New Richmond, Ohio.
Carl was a nice guy. He is visually impaired. Is that the nice way to say it?
Right.
He was standing at a dealer's table, just looking over stuff, and he heard me talking, came up to me, and you're Big John from the Glowing Dial, aren't you?
You could tell just by your voice.
That's
it was
incredible.
amazing. Yes, it was absolutely amazing.
And we stood there for a half hour and talked. His wife was trying to drag him away. Saying, like, stop bothering the man.
And he wanted
Come
to
with
talk.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, it didn't send us some blank tapes. That was a really nice thing to do.
Yeah.
And we've been making use of those.
Yes, sure have. We have a postcard here from Ottawa, Canada.
Okay.
And this one is from Stewart Park.
Stewart Park, okay. Stewart and Esther.
Stewart was ill for a while, and he sent this card in response to us.
Ah, okay.
Your card came the day after I got home from the hospital after major surgery. Since January 1, I have been in many times for kidney problems. This time it took 3 surgeons a total of 5 hours. I was on intravenous and antibiotic solution for 3 days. I'm now able to get in and out of bed and the couch. This week the staples get removed and I will try and walk outside. I have improved quite a bit, but have a few more months to go. Hope you both are well. I remember John wasn't well there for a while. Perhaps your Glowing Dial will tune in our Miss Brooks.
Well, hey, I think we might be able to do that for you. We've got
we can do
enough
that.
of those. We'll get one of those on for Stewart, maybe the next program we do.
Next one is from Chuck and Patricia Jensen from Naples, Florida.
Yes. Nice folks.
Dear John and Steve, I first wrote to you and all the YUSA programmers earlier this year. I cannot tell you in words strong enough to express my delight with your current programs on Bill Bragg's great superstations. You fellows have lit my candle at both ends this time. Back in the late 30s, my brother Russ, now deceased, and I used to sneak off to the upstairs feather bedroom at our grandparents' home in Chicago. The object of our attention was an old vinyl photograph and a collection of pre-1920 records, including several by Uncle Josh, our favorite. We had At the Bug House, and one about a lady who lived in a tiny apartment. Her name was Ellie Vader. Her name was on the door. There were others, but I don't remember them, as I was only 3 or 4 years old. In 1987, I was visiting my 81-year-old father in Wisconsin, and I mentioned that one thing that I loved to have from my grandparents' home as a keepsake was that old phonograph and record collection. He said, my gosh, if I'd only known. When they died, I brought it here and put it in the back of my garage in 1962. It had been right under my nose for 35 years. He said, I would love for you to have it, just to get rid of it, but I gave it away 6 months ago.
Geez.
All the records were still in the cabinet. I had not heard Josh since the early 40s. I was delighted to hear that familiar voice once again. Thanks. Your Uncle Josh recordings really brought back memories. I don't want to seem greedy, but do you have any more Uncle Josh that you can play for us YUSA listeners?
Right.
Best wishes to the two of your biggest fans, Chuck and Patricia Jansen, Naples, Florida.
Chuck and Patricia, let me tell you, we've got one more, and you're going to hear it in this edition of the Glowing Dial. It's a little noisy, got a lot of surface noise, but I'm going to try to EQ it a little bit, and hopefully it'll be semi-listenable to you. But at least it'll be nostalgic. And but I've been told Bill Bragg is going to be dubbing me a tape of some Uncle Josh, and he said he'd be sending that along to me pretty soon. So when I get a hold of those, I might sneak one of those in toward the end of an episode every now and again for you. What else do we got?
There's another one from Chuck and Patricia Jansen. Thank you for your nice response to my fan letter last week. I was sorry to hear that things were pressing on you these days. You mentioned that you were 35 years old. It seems so many people have midlife crisis in their 30s. I was 33 when I had mine, so hang in there. A year from now, you won't even remember what it was all about. So, okay? Nice letter from them.
Yeah, that was nice.
We had a couple of phone calls from Dan Riazzi come through.
Well, he's right over there.
He's right
so
over there.
We don't have
so
to call him back.
We don't have to call him. Yeah, he's right here. And I got a phone call from Mike Gilbert from Callaway, Florida, and he loves our show.
Oh,
He
okay.
said, keep up the good work. He said, I listen to it. He's one of my favorites.
Well, maybe he'll send us a request.
Another one from Stewart Park here. Hi, John and Steve. Did get the postcard of Ottawa. Oh, did you get the postcard of Ottawa? Okay, I just read that one, so we did. You know, because these were being read in order we got them.
Yeah.
Okay. If not, it probably got lost in the mail. Perhaps you can play our Miss Brooks tapes on one of your date nights. Yeah. Well, we got you. Got the message the first time. Yes, we will. We will see if our radio will play our Miss Brooks.
I think it will. I wonder what he meant by date night, huh?
And then here's his response. Hi, guys, from Stewart Park again.
Uh-huh.
I should explain that about date night. One show you two were joking that you needed girl dates, but couldn't because you were doing the program. The show I was asking to hear an episode of is an R. Miss Brooks with Eve Arden. So I thought some other night when you couldn't get out on a date with some girls, you could play an R. Miss Brooks instead. I certainly didn't mean my comment to insult you guys. I did get the get well card the day I got out of the hospital, which is about 6 weeks now. The operation to remove a kidney stone went badly as the surgeon lost his instrument inside me after 2 hours, and he had to turn me over to 2 other surgeons for another 3 hours to remove the stone and the instrument.
Larry and Curly, was it?
I just had the staples out in recent memory. The cut is low enough that shorts will cover the 12-inch scar. I really appreciated getting the card, so sent you a postcard. What I may have done is use the address from the time before, and it may be lost. It is a nice aerial shot of Ottawa downtown with the Parliament building. Yep, and it was. I remember the postcard. I enjoy your show, and Steve, with your comments, it does make it interesting and fun to listen to. Waiting for the name of the radio.
Well, thank you, Stuart. I'm glad you're feeling better, my friend. Sorry you had to have the Three Stooges to operate on you there, but we are glad that you're doing better, and hope you recuperate.
That completes the letters.
Yay!
We're done with the letters.
Wonderful. In case you wonder what you're listening to, folks, this is the Glowing Dial. Yes, it is. Not the Bill Bragg Show. But we're here at the Friends of Old Time Radio Convention here at Newark, New Jersey, the Holiday Inn North, and we're just having a little old YUSA room party here.
And we have a room full of people.
We've got Montauk from the chat room. We've got Bill Bragg. We've got Cliff Kaplinger and his cousin, Dan McKeever, otherwise known as Fingers McKeever, otherwise known as Knuckles McKeever. And we got Dan Riazzi and 2 new YUSA members, Kim and her mom. And Mike Candy's over there too, and we're just having a good old time. That's what's so special. That's one thing we're trying to put across, folks, is come to these conventions, because we give you the info long before it happens, and so does Bill. And they're just a lot of fun. You get to see all the recreations that go on. They recreate some of the old shows, like this tonight we saw Dimension X, 0 Hour.
Mm-hmm.
A chilling Ray Bradbury tale about childhood, and that great shock ending. But and we saw Duffy's Tavern this afternoon, very funny. A lot of talented folks. You get to meet a lot of the people who are part of Old Time Radio. We've got some, and as a result, we have some celebrity interviews that you have to look forward to, folks. We're going to be, in upcoming episodes of The Glowing Dial, we'll be talking to people like John Rayburn, Arthur Anderson, help me out here, I'm blanking. Ray Erlenborn and Bob Mott, 2 great sound effects guys that worked in Old Time Radio. Bob Hastings.
And Bob Hastings, yes, we got an interview with him.
And
we might even get some more before we're done here.
Yeah, and we're hoping for Leonard Maltin. He's here as well.
Hope to get an interview with him. Most charming person. We'd love to interview him.
Yeah.
Love to.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to work on more, and we're doing this all for you, folks.
Did we mention that Mike Handy is the new disc jockey?
Yeah, Bill did.
Bill did, okay. We did mention that, all right.
So,
done with the letters.
But do send in your audition tapes, because there will eventually be another spot opening up.
Oh, yeah, sooner or later they all open up.
And if you are a member of YUSA, you are able to vote. And that's how we do the DJ. You hear the audition tapes, they're put into the rotation. Then you, on a Sunday live show, we vote. And that's how Steve and I got in. We had the popular vote. It was close, though.
Yes.
It was real close.
We're coming up on a year with our programs now. So
Yep.
this is show 22. So we've been
we're
around
almost to our year anniversary here.
Mhm.
Because it wasn't too long after we got back from Newark last year
Yes,
that we realized we
we
won.
auditioned and we got our spot. We're
So-
having a lot of fun doing it too.
Yes, we are. And
Do we have another recording to play here?
I think
Was it
we
one of the
could.
requests?
Yes. Why don't we get to that one for Chuck and Patricia? This is another Uncle Josh. It's an old Uncle Josh 78, and this one is Uncle Josh and the Labor Union.
Okay, now we don't really have dates on a lot of these, but I would tend to think that these are from the teens, 1910 to 1920 period.
Probably. I mean, some of his early stuff. Cal Stewart, I think, for the most part, did the Uncle Josh records. Some of them were on Edison cylinders.
Yes, they go back that
And Bill
far.
has some of those cylinders in his collection.
Some of the
And,
early ones do go back to the turn of the century, but I think some of these are a little newer
I think
than that.
1896. You had a book.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Of very early recordings.
From
back
him.
when you didn't think things charted. Yes, they did keep track,
Yes.
and some of these
Music
Uncle Joshes
sales.
were very
yes,
popular.
They kept track of the cylinder record sales
Mhm.
at the time. Yes.
Okay, so we're going to roll that for you now. So enjoy that, and we'll be back to close the show.
Well, too long last winter, a fella come to Function Center and said he was a walking delegate for a labor union. He said everything was union now in order to be successful, and quoted the United States as an example. Well, we held a meeting down at the schoolhouse and had a lot of speaking on the subject. Jim Lawson was chairman. Jim said he used to be a union man. He worked for the Union Pacific. Well, since we organized a lot of unions, putting there everybody joined except me, I thought I'd wait a spell and see how it was going to work. Mother said I joined every fool thing that come along anyhow. Well, we got more labor unions now than you can shake a stick at. Well, when it comes springtime, I had to hire a lot of help to work on the farm, and I had more trouble than a Democrat at a Republican rally. I hired one feller and got him to plow, and he plowed a furrow across the field and stopped. And I went out and asked him why he didn't turn around and plow back, and he said that wasn't his job, turning the horse around. That was the job of the horse turner union. So I had to hire another fella, go along, turn the horse around. Well, when it come dinner time, none of them would come in to dinner, so I went out and asked them why they didn't unhitch the horse and come to dinner. And they said that wasn't their job to unhitch the horse. That was the job of the horse unhitcher union. Well, when we got to the barn, none of them would feed him. Said that was the job of the feeders union. Well, I come to the conclusion if I was going to get anything done, I'd have to do it myself. So I went out to take in some hay, what the haymaker union had left after they had worked what they called 8 hours, and that walking delegate come out there and told me I couldn't take in that hay. I wasn't a member of the union. Well, I asked him how long it would take to become a member, and he said 2 weeks. Well, I told him I'd like to get my hay in. Looked as though it was going to rain, and I feared it'd get expired. Well, at the first forkful, every darn one of them went on a strike and called me a scab, but wouldn't let me work on my own farm. Well, I've got a rifle and a double-barreled shotgun and 2 bulldogs now, and they don't none of them belong to the union. And if that walking delegate comes around my place again, by gosh, he's going to be a running delegate.
Drinking and driving are a dangerous mix. When you host a party, you have a dual obligation to your guests. You want them to enjoy themselves, but you also want them to get home safely afterwards. If your guests plan to drive home, consider closing your bar early. Serve food and coffee towards the end of the evening. Show your guests you really care. Help them to be law-abiding. This is Jack Webb for the National Safety Council.
It's a beautiful day. Spend it right here with Yesterday USA Superstation.
All right, we are back with you, ladies and germs. That was Uncle
God bless
Josh
you.
and the Labor Union. The only other Uncle Josh one we have right now, and but Bill says he's got a tape coming to us. that somebody made for him.
Oh, great.
I've transferred some cylinders, I think, tape, and Chuck and Patricia will be getting those on for you when we can.
Before the 78 records, they used to have them on cylinder.
Yes. Folks, we want to hear from you, and with the information on that is the gentleman you heard open our program. Take it away, Mr. Foy.
This is Fred Foy, here to tell you how you can get in touch with the Glowing Dial. Big John and Steve want to hear from you. They'd like your comments and suggestions and any requests you may have. You can contact them by any of the following means. Send email to glowdial@ix.netcom.com or by phone by calling 810-774-0112. That's 810-774-0112. Or send snail mail to the Glowing Dial, 29121 Lund, Warren, Michigan 48093. Write or call now. Big John and Steve are waiting to hear from you.
Well, thank you, Mr. Foy, and I hope you will take that advice, ladies and gentlemen, and write to us if you got any requests. Like I say, if we have it, we'll get it on in a near future show for you. If we don't have it, that's another reason we come to the conventions. All the dealers are there, and we will look for shows that we do not have.
That we don't have, yes, of course,
and,
always.
I bring my EQ back in there. I should have done that. Naughty boy, naughty. That's going to about wrap it up for us, folks. Want to thank everybody for joining us here in the room at the party, as you hear me clicking things around here.
And we're going to be having some more fun as soon as we get done with the show, so the fun will continue.
Oh, the dancing girls will do it. Sorry. No, we don't
spoil the surprise.
Well, as our closing music comes in here, we're going to say yes. Again, thank you, all of you who are here in the room with us. As you can hear, we're having a great time. Keep a positive thought, folks. Keep looking up, and we'll see you on the radio. Bye-bye.